So the title of this week's episode kind of gives it away. We're chatting to David and Mick from Fife Police. How are you, folksy, as well?
Very
Doing,
good, very good. Thank you very much. Yeah. How about you, Mick?
yeah, I'm doing good. Doing good. It's been an eventful weekend, but yeah, I'm doing really well. So yeah, all good.
They are. Well, full
True. I just
disclosure.
have to say,
Yeah.
Mick is another granddad again. Um,
Yes.
uh, so
Congratulations.
his daughter Chelsea and husband David, who are both in the band, just had a baby this weekend, Monroe. So
Monroe Michael, right? So we're pretty stoked about that. Obviously, it's been quite a weekend. I've been
Yeah.
looking after my granddaughter this weekend, so that's been an adventure in itself. It's been great fun.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, but you're way too young to be a grandfather. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you're a young, sprightly fella yourself, you know?
It's exactly what I think, Robert. I keep telling my pupils that at the school, and they all laugh at me. So I don't know whether I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. Well, folks, I have to talk about Five Police. What a season, David, you guys had. What a year.
yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, we definitely enjoyed it. It was not without its challenges, of course.
Yeah.
I think getting to that level comes with its sacrifices, and I
Mm.
think we all worked awfully hard, um, and I think just generally feeling though that we kind of keep talking about it, but we went through the apocalypse and came out the other side. I feel, Mick, would you agree?
Yeah, I think 2023, the back end of 2023 was tough for the band. So 2024, the changes that we had obviously a change in the leadership team of the band with Greg Brian going to take over the whole Burnt Island organisation and Greg coming in and that in itself that brings some challenges. Obviously, you're working with new people. He's a real great quality guy, but there was a number of changes in the front end in terms of personnel that David and Greg had to manage, and I thought they did that brilliantly, to be honest. And then also we did a lot of changes to the sound of the band. I think that was very recognisable from the front end side of things. Although the back end remained very settled with very few changes in personnel. And it has been like that for a good number of years now, with one or two sort of coming in from my school band or from outside that. But it is only one or two, and that leads to a very settled and you know a unit that you've been used to working with. And then David obviously settled the front end down. I thought it was a great year, but there's no doubt about it. As David touched on, it was really hard work. There's no doubt about that. We really worked hard at things.
There you
Yeah,
go. Yeah, but that definitely shines through, and I'm so glad you mentioned the sound, Mike, because David, I don't know what you guys were doing this year, but the tone that you guys have found this season, whew, was there a secret sauce? What were you working on?
You know, it's it's just like a lot of the implementation of well, first of all, we kind of went back to sort of older chanters, the older plastic, and we certainly found that had a bit more of a resonant sound. We were a bit more disciplined with being able to make sure everybody was on the same setup and full cane, and we did it was a constant refreshing of reeds. Really, that there we've got our yeah we're lucky within the band that we've got a few people who make cane reeds, and Eddie Gall, our drone tuner, he's making the bulk of the reads for the guys, but he's also on the drone, so he's making the reads, helping the drone. So if anything wasn't right, we were able to identify it straight away, change it out, and then just keep going. So
Mm.
that just doesn't stop. That's not a process that you get to, but you hope by at least the week of the Worlds you're able to um, change less, or just either that or cut your losses. But certainly by the Worlds, we were very very settled, and at the start of the season we hadn't really even implemented all the chanters that we wanted to put in there, and some of them weren't quite right, so we had to identify those and take them out. And to
Mm.
be honest, you don't really know until you're in the heat of the battle what's right or wrong and what's going to work. And it was partly annoyingly trial and error. It can be great in the band hall, and then under pressure, things become
it's not as much fun then. Yeah.
yeah, things change. And then also just getting the guys to believe in themselves a little bit more. Like I think, Fife, I feel sort of always been sort of an underdog band, and I think that mentality maybe can rub off on some of the players sometimes, and so we're trying to really instill the idea that we are not, and we are challenging, we're competitive, and it takes time. That takes time, but you need to start. The results really matter too for that. Not that we can really do anything other than try our best, but when you do get a result that sort of, all right, okay, and then you hear sort of hype or what people are talking about, and they go, right, okay, so they start to believe. So then it all starts to pull together. And then once you get that, it's just sort of like a train. It just sort of it keeps going. And obviously, Mick and I work the most on ensemble, and that's always been the biggest focus. So sound obviously was a huge improvement this year, but we've always still managed to really highlight and focus on ensemble. And I feel like every year, Mick and I, we sort of develop and get that bit tighter and start understanding each other even more. So a lot of stuff that we spent time on our very first year together isn't even in the equation anymore. Just we've moved on from all those bits and pieces they make, and just sort of pick up. We have a look at each other in the middle of a set. We don't say anything else, and we don't need to even discuss it. We know what we're talking about, and it's just starting. All that stuff really helps. It keeps the practices more efficient too. And
there you go.
But yeah, there was probably one moment in the year just before Mick scored their major where there was a shift, and it was like one practice outside, if you remember, Mick, and it was at like Mark Inch.
Yeah.
Just before Mark Inch, and it just started to, from that moment onwards, it was like we've finally got the band where we think it needs to be, and then we just worked hard on refining from there. And then Mick, the next major wins the drumming title, and it's great.
It's the mindset thing for sure, but it's also a confidence thing, and I think you can't underestimate how important confidence is in any kind of competitive genre. Confidence is huge, and if you can instill confidence in the team, then the team's just going to grow and grow. And I mean, at Grade 1 level, obviously you have a lot of very talented people, but perhaps they didn't know they could get over the winning line, and that was obviously a big moment for the drum corps at Forest. But actually, it was a huge moment for the band at Forest, because without the support of the front end being so strong, and everybody in the pipe band world kind of recognising, wait a minute, this is a different Fife Police this year. And David's quite right. It came before that. It came in the lead up to actually one of the minors that we went to, and then we went to the minor competition where a number of trainee adjudicators were actually doing their trainee dry runs, as it were, at Mark Inch, and they were commenting about, the band sounding better than it's ever sounded. There was definitely a big shift in how people perceived the band because of the improvements that were clearly there.
Absolutely. I think, that's one of the things that's definitely came through this year is about the consistent improvement with each competition. Every outing you guys had, you just constantly seem to get better. So, well, if anything, you won a big Rab Show award for it, Most improved band. There you go.
Very proud to get that, that was great, Yeah.
And coolest drums, by the way, and coolest drums.
And coolest drums as well, yeah.
Sorry, Meg, I forgot that one.
You can't forget that one.
Oh, you can't forget that
one.
It's true.
Absolutely. Well, did I hear a rumor that you're actually selling them?
They're gone, yeah. They're away now.
They're gone.
They're gone already. So our new set will be here imminently, actually. So early in the new year. So yeah. So exciting stuff. We'll wait for them to arrive till we show you what we've got. So
I look forward to the big unveil. There you go. But yeah, lifting that title, Mick, in Forest was a huge moment for the band, and even for the piping scene in general. Like the amount of support that came out and said, yes, they've done it. It was just, it was a fantastic moment. What was it like hearing the name read out on the day then, Mick?
It was quite surreal, actually. For some strange reason, I'd been to, as I always do, to my school band to hear the results, and I'd ended up kind of on my own in the middle of the competition field, in the middle of the mass bands. And the first person who got to me, which was quite nice, after it had been announced was my daughter, who plays in the novice juvenile A band of George Watson's, and she came running over to me, and I was all on my own, and I don't know why I was. I don't know why I wasn't with the Coa. I've no idea. I don't know how that happened, but anyway, I was all on my own, and yeah, it was just a great moment. Obviously, to have worked that long in Grade One and I'd been hit the bar a couple of times, obviously, to finally get one over the line. It was fantastic. And David had been saying for a long time, it's coming, it's going to come, don't worry, it's going to come, it's going to come. And I have no doubt in my mind that, and I mentioned it earlier, one of the reasons why it did come was because the pipe corps' tonal quality was better and their delivery was better, and therefore we were able to accompany more solidly. And it was a big team effort, there's no doubt about it. What was lovely was the amount of guys that I've known over the years and competed against all came over to the Corps, and they were all so happy for us, and that goes right across Grade One. It was that was very touching, actually, and that'll remain with me forever. Obviously, it was great. It was a great moment for the whole team, because they've worked their socks off. To be fair, they really have. So
there you go. Yeah, definitely a big moment for sure. And that's what I've found, that the outpouring from a lot of your competitors were so supportive, and they were like, "Oh, Mick, brilliant," patting the back and all that. And they're all celebrating with you. That was fantastic. So, David, even, like having that moment for the drum corps, as Mick was saying, like pipe corps is definitely a huge part of that, and a big day for the band in general, not just the drum corps.
Huge. No, it's nice to hear the band's name out. You're always listening. There's 2 prizes, and you're always listening to have the band named first, and one of them was a massive step. We set goals every year. We set that goal at the end of last year. That's what we set the goal for. Was right. It's good. Mick's drum corps is doing good, but and I was saying this to the pipe corps. How do we get that? How do we get this over the line? How do we get this? Mick finally gets that win, and we just set about being. Well, we had to be more solid and less distracting, and in areas of the performance. And so it was just trying to just generally be just right, just solid, I guess. And
in the pocket, as they say. In that pocket.
And so it was good. It was when we debriefed at the end of Worlds, we sat back and we went, I think we achieved 4 of our main goals, and we'd set a 2-year mark on, right, this is what we want to do. Realistically, give ourselves 2 years to do this, and we hit them all in the year, which was amazing. So
fantastic.
you never settle, so you move forward and you set new goals. But it's great. It just feels, the band felt really, really good, and at the end it was. I'd come Worlds, you have your 4 runs and your 4 tune-ups, and everything just. It was the same every single time. There was nothing flapping. Everyone's pipes were working. Everyone's drums were behaving, and it was just on. And it's just so much easier when you can just get into that zone, relax.
Yeah.
And you've got a good team around you, and we've got a great team effort all around from the leadership team, but mainly the group of guys, the drone tuners, all the band management. It's all really nice. It's a great band to be part of, and it's drama free. To be honest, it's a nice environment. Everyone in the band is there to be trying to play good music, trying to play exciting music, and be together, be the best they can be, and then take things from there, and that's generally the feeling.
Fantastic. So, guys, I have to ask you then about that now famous interview with Jackie Baird after the Worlds, where the cameras were right on you as soon as you come off the line. Tell us about that, David. That was a lot of emotion in that, I think.
Well, Mick comes in, and we were looking at each other and like kind of signal over. Mick comes in into the interview, and Jackie they just ask like random questions. You're like, So one of the months before, it wasn't on that interview, but I think one of her questions was the first question. So David, those reels were fun, and it's just not the word I was expecting. I was just like, yeah, fun, yeah. Well, right, we'll go with that. Weird. So anyway, she comes over. Mick comes over. We're asking all these sorts of random questions, togetherness, and Mick, Mick goes all sloppy, and I just turned to him, and it was just like one of those moments in my brain. I'm going, I'm just gonna mess around here. I'm just gonna lighten the load, and I was like, but it's the truth though. Like Mick and I go way further back than people realize, and
Yeah.
we've always had that connection. To be fair, I was a lot younger, so it was a different sort of situation. I was new in the Clan Gregor band, like was I 16, 17? I can't remember.
Yeah, yeah.
When I first joined, Mick was the lead tip, and there was just something we were always able to just communicate. I don't know, and there's a few guys in that drum corps that were part of that band as well, and it was always been the same. There's
Mm.
just always been a connection there, and it's never really left. We've been in different bands in between times, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. There's a huge amount of love and respect, and I think that's where it just sort of came out, and it was like that's the truth of it all is if you don't have respect or love for the person you're working with, then it's game over. You just can't do it. So
Yeah.
it's a huge part of it.
Absolutely. It's one of the
Certainly, my two young girls thought it was very funny when it was aired on the BBC programme. Anyway, that's for sure. They had a right good laugh at it. So,
I don't know. It's a lot of people were talking about it, going that was so cool. That very cool moment. Yeah. So for folks that don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back. You can go watch it on the iPlayer. Go and have a watch at it,
or not.
or not, as the case may be. Yeah.
uh,
There you go. But I have to say, with such a successful season behind you, you aren't sitting on your hands and doing nothing now this winter. You guys have been working furiously hard now for an upcoming concert that you have scheduled. Can you tell us about this then, David?
yes. So Gus from the Bucksburn District pipe band sort of approached us not too long ago and sort of asked if we would do it. So we had to think about it, short turnaround, but then we thought, you know, we just do it. We asked the band, and the band were like, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, no, I think we had to come up with a nice sort of theme, and we felt that maybe just celebrating the dance and music connection and
Yeah.
the connection I've got from the dancing side of my world, and was a good starting moment. There's so much music out there, and it was just yeah. So it's been really fun to develop that concert material with thinking about how do we really connect those dots for the audience? How do we really showcase the link between
Mm.
dance and music, and then keep the Fife connection there. So some nice stuff coming through that I think we'll all really enjoy putting across. I think the feel is when you're looking at it all and you're talking to the band and everybody's very excited. So
I love it. Yeah.
and
Good stuff.
I think we are too. I think we are.
Yeah,
Mick, what do you think?
absolutely, absolutely.
There you
Yeah.
go. So, Mike, can you tell us? I know David's listening right now, but can you tell? Is there going to be any musical surprises? Do you think? Do you think there's going to be anything in there that we haven't heard before and go, "Ooh,
There'll definitely be some musical surprises for sure.
oh, nice,
I
yeah,
mean, obviously, we were fortunate enough to be asked to do the Bucksburn concert in 2018. So
yeah,
we've had a shot at it, and it was a lot of fun doing that. This is going to be a completely different concert.
Hmm.
I'm not sure there's any tunes that we're playing at this concert that we played at that concert.
I
Or there might be
see,
one.
yeah,
There might be one. Might be one reel. And that's it.
Yeah.
Everything's different. What a concert gives you is it gives you an aiming point for the band to be up and on the floor, and gives us
Hmm.
real motivation for everyone. Everybody's mad keen to do it, to be honest. And we went to the band with a bit of trepidation, it would be fair to say, because like David said, it is a short turnaround. There is a lot of music, but that can only be good. That can only be good for the development of our young band, and it is a very young band actually overall.
Yeah.
Apart from the old guy in the middle at the back of the drum corps, everybody's pretty young, to be honest. And it'll be nice to see them have the opportunity to showcase the music that night when it comes around. But between now and then, we've got a lot of work to do. So.
Well, there you go. I'll not keep you too long. I'll let you get to it. But yeah, if you are wanting tickets for that, please do contact Bucksburn District. They do have that across our socials. There's a box office, all that stuff. We'll have all the links in this week's show notes so you can go and get your tickets for that. So that's up in the Aberdeen area. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Aberdeen Music Hall. I was actually at the St. Lawrence O'Toole concert last year, so I kind of got a good scout out of the layout and everything. So
There you
I
go.
can't deny that I was potentially, going, oh well, get Fife up there. What would we do and stuff like. So it's not like really totally out of the blue, but also,
Yeah,
when you hit go on these things, you really start moving. And we've
that's it.
got a good team put together who, delegation, I think, and but lots of visuals, lots of there'll definitely be Highland dancing involved, so there'll be dancers there. There'll be
Brilliant. Yeah.
some songs and some, it's gonna have everything. I wouldn't say it's a strictly traditional pipe band concert in that sense. We kind of looked at it like, how can we put on a good show,
Yeah.
and at the same time, how do we say this is what Fife is, this is who we are. And I think
Mm.
I feel confident that the show is going to showcase that, and really get people understanding who we are as a band. Because I think that can be the hardest challenge when you're just doing competitions and competition medleys and march of spades and reels, and there's an element of musical license that you can use, but generally speaking, we're pretty much onto a formula. So
Hmm.
you have to sort of go and look. You can't push the boat out too much without first having a little bit more credit behind you. So it's a bit of a juggling act, I think.
Hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping that after last season we might be, there's a better idea of who we are, and I think we are much clearer as a band who we are too. So it's a little
Mm.
bit, as I said, trial and error in these things, but I think in the end, get the concert, you see exactly who Fife are. Yeah, and I think people will enjoy that.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, so Dancing on the Beat, 19th of April in the Aberdeen Music Hall. So get that date in your diary. And as I say, check out the show notes where you're listening right now, and all the links are there for your tickets right now. So yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, David, about developing that musical voice. That's definitely been something that Fife have been building on. From I would say from 2010 onwards, I think the band's really been coming into its own in this last while, and that voice is continuing to develop. So I have to ask you about this incoming season. Then, are we going to see any new medleys, any new mini MSRs, anything moving and shaking at the moment?
We have a brand new mini MSR
Oh,
and a brand new medley. Yeah, we've
oh,
got
a whole new medley! Wow.
a
Okay,
whole new
cool.
medley. Yeah, yeah. Well, I think when we were looking at the development of the band
Hmm.
over the last couple of years, we kept that one medley going for longer than we would normally, just so until we got sort of more of the basics just tied away, so that we
Yeah.
were had a better platform to build on. So we kind of what we thought we kept our strongest medley from the first 2 years in competitions, and we kind of
Mhm.
got that going for the third year. And by the end of the third year, we knew inside out where all the pitfalls were and where we were going to go, and we knew that had we developed that exact medley again, it would look differently now. So I think really that was a good place to be in, because we knew, um, you know, annoyingly, we knew going into some competitions, if you pull that medley, the best you can get is maybe
Mm,
top
yeah.
three, but not anything more. So we
Hmm.
thought, that was, but it did a job for us, Mick. It got us there. It got us, playing tight, and yeah, I
I
think that
think
was important.
I think what it did was it gave the band a bit more of its own identity. When we
Mm,
played the fairy dance medley, which is the medley that David's referring to, it was a
Yes.
different direction for the band to go in, and we'd never gone in that direction before. So it was very interesting for me as a composer of the scores, and working with David. That was for me, that was a challenge. There was no doubt about that some of
mm.
the stuff we were doing, it was stuff I hadn't done before, and like you have to keep growing as a player, no matter how young or old you are, and uh, going in that different direction. It helped me to understand a wee bit more about me as a composer of drum scores, and
Mm.
how I can grow a wee bit. And I think identity is an important thing. I think that's one thing that I know you mentioned since 2010, and the band has changed somewhat over those years
Yeah.
as a new leader has come in, and I've now worked with four different pipe majors, so I'm I'm all part of that, and I really am enjoying the journey that we're on right now. Which is a different. They're all very different journeys, but they're all really enjoyable. This is really fun at the moment. I'm really enjoying it. Giving me a real new lease of life. As I said, I'm the old codger of the band. I think I'm the oldest. Oh, maybe not. There's maybe a piper in the band that's older than me.
Yeah.
Are we going to drop names now? Name and shame?
No, we won't do that. We won't do that. I'm certainly one of the elder statesmen, so I'm definitely enjoying the identity that we're starting to create for the band.
Yeah.
Well, it's the first thing that we spoke about when we, went into this thing together. It was right. This is what I wanted to do, was really have a distinctive style. And I think we weren't naive to think it was going to happen overnight, but certainly the development side of that has been good. So yeah, we knocked out a medley for 3 years, so we were kind of like, right, that's the end of that. We need to really move on from that. And I think we were all still happy to play it, but we all knew that it was limiting. It was only going to do us so well. So we're happy. We're developing a new one. It's there, to be fair. We just have sort of week to week, couple more tweaks, and then we'll just need to get it on the floor and try it out. So, but it's not too far away. Not too far away.
I can't wait to hear it. It's fantastic. So, as much as we're talking about developing that pipe band voice, I'll give you a few examples, okay? For those listening that might not know what we're talking about. For example, if you were to hear the Sandpiper medley straight away, that's Field Marshal, right? And same with People's Ford, Bog Hall and Bathgate. They've got their signature sound and their own approach. So does St. Lawrence, Simon Fraser, all of these Grade 1 big guns, and yourselves as well. Over this last while have been definitely developing your own style. So for anyone listening that hasn't a clue what we're talking about, go back and listen to all of these previous performances for all the Grade 1 big guns, and they do have their own musical voice, for sure. Us piping nerds can hear like 2 opening bars of an introduction and we know the band already. Are you guys the same?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a big geek, to be fair. I've always been a geek, when it comes to pipe band. I've loved the pipe band music my whole entire life. It's never been something I've fallen into. It's just always been in part of my life. It's huge.
I don't think if you're investing that much of your time and your life into something the way that we do to play at the top level, you can't ignore all the other great bands that are out there. And I mean, that is the most pleasing thing about our band. We're competitive in an environment where it has never been so competitive, and so many excellent bands. So it's one of the things that I'm most proud of with the band that we're in right now, is that we're up there competing with these bands and giving them a serious run for their money, actually.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, for sure. Well, folks, I cannot wait for this incoming season. It's going to be so exciting to see you on the grass, and if anything, in the concert hall as well. Really looking forward to that. So again, just to remind folks, there are links in the show notes right now. 19th of April, Dancing on the Beat. Go and grab your tickets for it. It's going to be a heck of a show. Yeah. So David, Mick, thank you so much for chatting with us. I think one thing that hugely comes across about your band that you should be rightfully proud of, and you mentioned it a few times now, is the camaraderie. Like, you all seem to be best mates, So long may that continue,
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a lot of people.
As David mentioned, we've known each other since he was like a 16-year-old laddie in Clangregor when he came to join the band. So we've been actually friends since then. When I left Clangregor, and then he subsequently left as well, went to another band. We remained friends, and when he was pipe major of another Grade 1 band, we would chat in passing on our part. We were always the friendship was always there. But there's great friendships within the band because a lot of the band members have played in that band for a long time. And so you naturally become friends. You're away a lot of the summer together, spend a lot of time together, and that camaraderie is important. It's really important to the team bonding, the team ethic, working together and trying to achieve goals.
Absolutely. Well, I know we've got many pupils of our own in the band, and Greg's got pupils, and I think others have pupils, and so you've got that element of it too, where they still listen and they still take your advice, and so there's the element of that sort of mentorship that is always throughout our band, and that will always remain, And I think that's something that we're always looking to do, is just keep developing the youth, bringing pupils through, or nice young talent that want to come and try and play. But then you've got other things. Like one of my first pipe majors, probably my second pipe major, Craig Black, who's pipe major of the City of Brecon pipe band. So I grew up through that band, and he's in the band. So it's like, and his pipe major from when he was in Stonehaven in grade one, Barry Nelrick, is in the band. So you've got, a connection there. And then I've played with, Neil Henderson and a couple of boys from Drambuie. My wife's in the band. I've known Greg as long as I've known Mick, and and it's just, there's so many elements of that where this person was in that band together,
Well,
like
connections everywhere. Yeah.
and there's just tons of that, and then people sort of come into the band and they realize that this is a huge family and it's nothing else, and for that reason, there's really, like, there is no drama. I've never known a band to be drama free. And I've led bands before that have been great bands with drama. And they're but this is a different kettle of fish altogether. Everybody just has so much respect for each other and just does the right things. And you just they have the band at heart all the time, so it's good.
Yeah.
It's a nice place to be.
Oh, brilliant. Well, before I let you go, it would be remiss of me if I don't ask what one of the team members here in the Rab Show want to know about. They're big rugby fans in the Rab Show team, and they want to know about your appearances at Murrayfield. What's it like to be out there for that? That's bound to be something special.
It's amazing, actually. It's amazing when the match kicks off. It's actually quite a long day for the band, to be honest. We're there about maybe 5 hours before kickoff. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Wow.
It seems to be getting longer and longer. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a long old day because obviously you have to be in before the gates open. All rehearsal and everything has to be done before that. And then we get to play the team bus round, which is also a good part of it because the crowd are in by then.
That's so good.
Once you're on the pitch and you're doing the national anthem, it's something else. Especially if I've been fortunate enough to be on the pitch when it's Scotland England, and it's something else. It really is something else. It's great for the band, actually. It really is great exposure for us. So I've done it for a lot of years now. So
the noise is something you can't just, if you're experiencing it from all angles. When you're in the crowd at a rugby match or anything, like, you feel it. You feel the power of but actually you're only getting a small section of it. But when you're actually in the middle and it's just pelting you all directions, it's pretty amazing. It takes you. It's
quite intense.
And then obviously,
the
67,500 people singing "Flower of Scotland," or certainly 60,000 of them, and the other 7.5 singing the other.
It's a huge moment. Anytime I've seen it televised, I'm going, oh, there you go, there's Mick. Oh, and I'm picking people out, But it's such a brilliant moment and such a great way to see bagpiping showcased like that. Like, a lot of people could watch you guys and go, I want to try that. I want to have a go at that. And
I don't know if it's like that for Mick, but my boys and girls at the school band really, really want to do that. Like, that is a huge thing that they say, I want to play pipes at Murrayfield, and you're like, that's why they want to get into piping. A lot of them.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I think the piper on the roof, obviously, doing the solo for Flower of Scotland, which at the last international we did, the winds were really high, so they wouldn't allow them to go on the roof, which is a bit of a shame. But when people see someone they know doing that's pretty special, obviously. And anything that encourages kids, and my kids are the same, David, when they actually see you, because sometimes they're watching the game and they'll see you the next week, oh, I saw you on the pitch, and they're all excited because they saw you on the pitch. What's it like? They're really keen to know what the atmosphere is like, which is great. That's fantastic.
It's brilliant. So, folks, I wish you well for this incoming season. It's going to be a really exciting year for Fife Polish, and if anything, an exciting concert as well. So I look forward to that. David, Mick, thank you so much for taking time to chat with us this week, and I'll hopefully catch you on the grass at some point. Yeah. Brilliant. Thanks a million.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. Bye-bye.